Hello again and welcome to our October 2023 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything that we mention will be down in the description below. Blackmagic has released a bunch this month. First off is an update to their camera setup program. This includes an update to the Cinema Camera 6K, which Blackmagic are recommending you update to as soon as you receive your camera if it's not updated already. The patch notes aren't super detailed, but they do say that it improves the overall reliability of the recorded image. We took a look at the Cinema Camera 6K earlier this month, so if you want to see how it performs and hear our thoughts about it, check out the video. This update also brings Blackmagic RAW 3.4, which adds support for the Cinema Camera 6K and Fujifilm GFX 100 2's B-roll clips. To go along with this, Blackmagic also released firmware 3.12 for the Video Assist 12G HDR monitor recorders to add support for the Fujifilm GFX 100 2 RAW recording, as well as just improving the overall general performance and stability of the monitors. They have also updated their newly released camera app for iPhone with a load of new features and refinements. This includes new frame rate options, support for external timecode when using the Tental Sync E, support for the Nucleus Nano and M, and a bunch more. It's available to download now for free on the App Store if you fancy checking it out. Up next, they also announced the DeckLink 8K Pro Mini, their latest low-profile 8K capture and playback PCI card. It has 4 independent bidirectional 12G SDI micro BNC connections. These are all capable of a range of resolution and configurations, so this could be a really good solution for certain workflows. Lastly was the release of Resolve 18.6.2. This was essentially a stability update. Here's a list of the changes, and it's available to download now on their website. Laowa has released a few new products this month, the first being their new microscope lens system, the Oregon. Laowa told us behind the scenes about these at IBC, and I was really excited to learn more about them and check them out. We are currently waiting for a PL set to arrive, but we should be testing them in-house very soon, so let us know if you have any questions. This new system is aimed to go beyond their regular macro lens capabilities and can go from a 1:1 magnification all the way to a 5:1. It's designed to cover full frame, and you can change the magnification by swapping out the front tubes between the different magnification options. They have a fixed focus distance of 20mm or 0.78 inches, so if you need to focus, you need to move your camera or your subject. It has an APO design which should help reduce aberrations. It's a very unique system, but one that is super interesting, especially as it's available in a large range of mounts, including PL. It's also decently affordable at just under £1,600, which is pretty good considering the size of the kit and how good it looks. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on a video on it very soon. Laowa also released the 20mm T2 1.5x nanomorph for MFT lens mount on their Indiegogo. This MFT version looks incredibly compact, but Laowa will also be releasing a PL and EF version, which will be more in line with their larger nanomorphs. It has a close focus of 43cm, is available with 3 flare options, but it's not designed to cover Super 35 sensors unlike the other nanomorph lenses. Lastly, they announced a new APS-C zoom lens, the 8-16mm f3.5-5, which will be available in E, X, Z, RF and EFM mount. It looks decently compact given its ultra-wide focal length and has a close focus of 20cm. It's actually reasonably affordable too, so this could be a good pairing with some of Fujifilm's cameras, the Red Komodo, or some of Sony's cameras too. Canon announced their latest RF mount lens, the 10-20mm f4L IS STM. This new ultra-wide zoom is effectively the RF equivalent of the 11-24mm EF, which compared to this was a much larger and heavier lens. It's quite impressive how compact and light this new lens is, considering the zoom range and constant f4 aperture. It has up to 5 stops of peripheral coordinated optical stabilization, has a rear filter holder, a 9-blade iris, and a close focus of 25cm. It's priced at just under £2,600, which is actually a little bit cheaper than the 11-24mm EF was, which I was quite surprised to see. This could be a really good option for people wanting an ultra-wide that will take advantage of the autofocus and lens correction in RF mount cameras. Red has been busy this month, releasing new firmware for both the KOMODO-X and the V-Raptor systems. These are both beta builds, but they bring a bunch of new features and changes. This includes the addition of face detect autofocus, the ability to use gain instead of ISO, in-camera online firmware upgrades, and a bunch more specific smaller changes across the different cameras. I'm really intrigued to see how the Face Detect autofocus performs. Let us know if you've given it a try in the comments below. They also released the Komodo riser plate for the regular Komodo as well as the X. This is so you can use them with the Raptor quick release platform pack and bring the camera up to the correct optical height for 15mm lightweight support accessories. They also released a rigid hinge upgrade pack for the DSMC3 monitor. This is a way better design than the original version, which was incredibly easy to wear out and quite fiddly when attaching the monitor. This is an optional all-metal hinge and arm that will provide a more rigid and solid mount for the monitor, which could be good for some shooting environments. The SD Association have announced the new 9.1 specification for future media. This change brings the update from the SD interface to PCIe and means much faster data rates will be possible. They will also be consolidating the classification of the cards to an express rating. This will be denoted as an E next to a number, such as E600, which means that media has a minimum sequential write speed of 600 megabytes a second. It also enables up to 8 streams to be recorded simultaneously. It looks like a big step up from the existing standard, and it's great to see all the different classifications get binned and replaced with something easier for people to understand. Hopefully we'll see camera manufacturers adopting this into their systems very soon. Adobe has released Premiere Pro 2024, and it brings some pretty interesting looking updates. This includes major timeline speed improvements, text-based editing, consolidation of color settings, project templates, and more. We use Premiere Pro as our main editing platform, so it's great to see so many new additions. I'm really interested to see how well the text-based editor works, as it could be incredibly helpful for us when cutting the talking head segments of our videos. It's available to download now via Creative Cloud. DJI has released 2 new products, the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Mini 4 Pro drone. The Osmo Pocket 3 is their latest compact 3-axis gimbal camera, and it seems to have a lot of improvements over the previous generation. It features a 9.4 megapixel 1-inch CMOS sensor paired with a 20mm f2 equivalent lens, has the ability to capture in 4K 120p, 10-bit D-Log-M in 420 10-bit, has a new night mode for improved low-light performance, and features a 2-inch rotatable OLED touchscreen, which allows you to go between shooting landscape and portrait very quickly. Though this is a cropped 9x16, it's not rotating the camera, which is a bit of a shame. While it does have a built-in mic, you can also pair it with DJI's Mic 2, which could be a solid vlogging setup. It has a bunch of other features and updates, so if you want to learn more, check out the links below. The Mini 4 Pro is DJI's latest super lightweight and compact drone that sits just above their entry-level Mini 4. It shares the same sensor, lens, and top speed as the Mini 3 Pro, but has a range of improvements. It has omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, 360-degree active track, up to 20 km full HD video transmission, can shoot 4K up to 100 and 1080p up to 200 frames per second, the ability for HDR capture in 4K up to 60, and a portrait mode that rotates the gimbal to use the full sensor. It's a really solid update, and given its price, looks like a very solid entry-level drone for filmmakers. Sony released 2 new microphone systems this month, the ECM W3 and the ECM S1. The S1 is a battery-powered wireless condenser microphone aimed at podcasters and creators. It has 3 pickup patterns, a built-in low cut and noise cut filter, as well as a gain adjustment control on the mic. The unique feature of this mic though is its ability to be used wirelessly. You can use either a computer or camera via the 3.5mm output, or directly into a Sony camera that has their MI chute. This will allow you to capture digital audio directly into your camera, which is pretty unique for a condenser mic to offer. It can also be used directly into a computer with a USB-C. The ECM W3 is a more traditional looking dual channel wireless mic system. It comes in a nice charging case, also has low cut and noise cut filters built in, as well as on-transmitter mics and the ability to use 3.5mm microphones with them as well. You can also output via 3.5mm, or it can be used with Sony's MI chute directly. This again allows for digital audio capture directly into your camera, and you can also take advantage of a new safety function that allows for the recording of 2 audio tracks, one at normal volume and then a second at 20 decibels lower. This should hopefully help reduce the risk of you having issues with your audio peaking. Given its price, I think the big feature that will swing people to these is their integration with Sony cameras. For less money, there are other options like the Rode Wireless Pro, which offer some really unique features. But the integration with Sony cameras could be a massive pro over some others on the market. Let us know if you want us to do a comparison video or something between the different wireless systems at this kind of price in the comments below. Right, let's get into our quickfire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description below. Axoon announced the Power Cage Mini and Top Rig S40 and S60 motorised sliders. Ambient released updates for their Lockit series of products. Angelbird released a new series of V30 SD cards. Arri has released SUP 5.5.1 for the CCM1 and SUP 7.3 for the Alexa Mini LF, which brings improvements when used with the MVF2 and CCM1. Bebob announced a 4 and 8 channel wall mounted battery charger and the Coco V Micro 2 power distro adapter. Bright Tangerine released some new accessories for their Casper series. Core SWX announced the GT8 quad charger. Cord Bag released a range of new products, including a new series of wraps. DCS announced the LDT F1. DPA released the 2017 shotgun microphone. Godox announced the WEC compact dual mic wireless system. Hedge has now been rebranded to Offshoot. HMY released the Evo magnetic filter system. iFootage released 4 new products around their lighting kit. Ignite Digi introduced the Keystone for the Freefly Ember S5K. Ironglass launched a project where they are rehousing Carl Zeiss Jenner series lenses. Leica released the Super Vario Elmarit SL 14-24mm f2.8 and APO Summicron SL 21mm f2 lenses. Lomography launched the Noir Triplet V264, which is a very unique looking lens where you can control the look of it by using the slider on the front here. Mica have introduced speed boosters for using EF lenses on RF, E and Z mount cameras. Meta has released the Quest 3 VR headset. Nanlite has introduced travelling kits for the Forza 300 Mark II and 500 Mark II. Nikon released the Nikkor Z 135mm f1.8s planar lens. OWC released a few new CF Express Type B memory cards. Panasonic released firmware updates for both the S5 II and S5 IIX. Panther has announced the X-Type Dolly. Samsung introduced the T9 portable SSD and a 4TB 990 Pro PCI 4 M.2 SSD. Shape announced the full play B-mount dual voltage 299 Wh battery. Shure released the SM7DB, which now has a built-in preamp. Sigma released the 10-18 f2.8 for APS-C cameras and announced the development of a 70-200 f2.8 Sport, which will be available in E and L mount. Simod introduced a rear filter system for their LPL conversion kits for vintage lenses. Sirui announced the T30 pixel LED tube light. Smorig released cage accessories for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Thypoc, a new lens company, have released 2 fully manual full-frame Leica M-mount lenses, a 28mm and a 35mm f1.4. Winning Camera has released their range of elite accessories for the KOMODO-X and their accessory plate collection. And lastly, Zoom has launched the R4, a 32-bit float audio recorder. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe ready for next month's quick kit, and let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.